All right, we got a new SunnyV2 video. Salt Bay's empire is starting to collapse. Okay, I mean, from what I've seen of Salt Bay online, a lot of people don't really like him. He's kind of cringe. I've seen that he like overcharges the shit out of people for like really stupid stuff. So, you know, uh, this isn't a bad thing.
Restaurant closures, rapidly declining reviews, and his lowest growth on Instagram in over 6 years. Things have gone from bad to worse for Salt Bay, which is best observed by looking at each controversy up until this unfavorable point. His first time in hot water came just months after Salt Bay first went viral.
Waste of money and extremely rude
back
staff.
to his Instagram to find this photo, commemorating the life of Fidel Castro in the days after his death. At around the same time, Salt Bay had recently opened a steakhouse in Miami, a city to which approximately 500,000 Cubans had fled to as a result of Castro's leadership. Some people just don't think. To post pics like this and then open a restaurant in Miami. Really? I just called and cancelled 2 reservations and told them how I feel about their salt guy and his post. Picture posted a few days after Castro's death. Nice thought, WTF. He should open in Cuba and sprinkle his salt over there. The comments on the post itself echoed a similar sentiment, leading Salt Bay to remove the picture. However, he'd find himself in a similar controversy less than a year later. In September 2018, Salt Bay came under scrutiny once again for providing a feast to the Venezuelan president, who governs a country in which 64% of people have reported losing significant amounts of weight, 11 kilos or 24 pounds on average, amid worsening.
I mean, Salt Bay, I think he just cares about money, right? I think that at the end of the day, that's really all he cares about. I think he's just kind of a shitty person, doesn't really care about who he's serving. You know, I don't know, he comes across as very egocentric.
Food shortages. As a Venezuelan, it angers me seeing my president feasting on a meal while me and my family were starving. I cannot believe this video. This guy eating tomahawk steaks or whatever that is, and the people from his country dying of hunger.
Yeah, that's
Food tastes
insane.
so much better when you know the folks back home are starving.
That's insane.
After the Venezuelan president then explained that Salt Bay had personally invited him to the restaurant, protests broke out in front of Salt Bay's Miami restaurant, with one sign reading, "Did you know, Salt Bay, that in the time it took you to wine and dine dictator Maduro with your bloody meat, at least one Venezuelan child died of extreme malnutrition." However, this might not have even been Salt Bay's biggest controversy for the month. Only 8 days after these protests, a new article was posted reading, 4 tourists are set on fire at Instagram star Salt Bay's Istanbul restaurant, which had happened as a result of a fire show gone wrong.
Oh my god, dude, what the fuck?
Fire was a Czechoslovakian YouTuber and model named Tina Stresnikova, who suffered burns to more than 35% of her body and can be seen with slight but visible burn scars on her Instagram even till this day. Her 23-minute video on the topic, translating to "the moment that changed my life," is unfortunately spoken in Czechoslovakian without subtitles. However, an article posted a year after the incident stated that Tinus had received no compensation for the mistake and that the restaurant had instead destroyed all evidence. Oh my god, that's scummy. Salt Bay did eventually pay out $230,000 in compensation, although not to Tinus for permanently altering her appearance, but rather to 4 mistreated employees in Salt Bay's next big controversy.
Oh my god.
The 4 employees claimed that Salt Bay was taking 3% from their total tips, which was followed by Salt Bay firing the 4 employees.
Of course, that doesn't surprise me.
About it. As a result, the employees
launched a god, what a piece of shit,
lawsuit,
dude.
explaining that their former boss had an authoritarian, dictatorial attitude who doesn't care about local laws.
What is Salt Bay's background? Like, we're seeing all this I want to see like what's his origin story, man? How did he become this piece of shit that he is now?
They even suggested Salt Bay likened himself to Tony Montana and humiliated them on occasions in the lawsuit. Yet Salt Bay responded by stating, "I don't get a share of the employees' tips. I've never done that in any of my restaurants. I was not satisfied with the performance of the 4 employees. They didn't match my understanding of work. They weren't as good as I wanted, so I terminated their contract right away." Yet these 4 employees weren't the only ones claiming that they'd been mistreated while working for Salt Bay. A former employee at the Nusret restaurant in London described it as gold from the outside but shit from the inside, whilst another compared the working environment to the Hunger Games, as staff never fired during a shift, with a third likening the restaurateur to a dictator. Former employee Frank Tefano stated that he was treated poorly as a result of being American, while another former manager explained his world was nothing but Instagram and fame. The sensation was him. He ended up getting this godlike complex, highlighting Salt Bay's next big problem. With massive artworks of his one viral moment, and every third Instagram picture being him working out shirtless, it seems Salt Bae is just a bit too full of himself, and while some degree of ego might be necessary for success, he takes it to a whole new level. When interviewed by The Times in 2019, Salt Bae seemed convinced that every kid wanted to be him, stating, "Now everybody wants to be a butcher because of me.
What the fuck?
Now if you ask a kid, they want to be Salt Bae. They see me as an idol."
What?
I'm an
What kid has ever said that they want to be Salt Bae? Oh my god, this guy lives in his own world. What?
To a lot of people in a very short period of time.
Jesus
also
Christ.
always taking the opportunity to brag about money. Salt Bae had posted an $8,000 bill as well as a different $47,000 bill, yet the picture that really kicked up a stink was the $167,000 bill posted to Salt Bae's Instagram with the title "Quality Never Expensive." The opulent bill mixed with his arrogant description prompted comments such as, "I have eaten in your restaurant, quality is questionable, and I've eaten there, the food was not good," with this sentiment being echoed by countless different people. YouTube channel Google Foods ordered the $2,000 steak before stating,
Yeah, it's a steak that's like covered in gold or something.
this.
It was not what we expected.
$2,000.
For $2,000, I gotta say, I thought it would be way bigger.
Also adding that the
That is small.
$275 tomahawk steak had been cooked incorrectly.
That was rare, even though we ordered medium rare. Now, there's nothing wrong with rare steak, but if you order medium rare, you should get
And you're
what you
paying that much money, yeah.
paid for.
A different
Yeah.
YouTuber, UA Eats, who was looking to give a purely objective review, stated that the waiter's performance was fun, yet the quality of the food was no better than any other steakhouse. On TripAdvisor, Salt Bae's London restaurant is ranked at 15,200 out of 15,700 restaurants.
Oh my
With
God.
a rating of 2.5 stars,
That's
making
so
it worse
low.
than 96.8% of all other restaurants in the city. The steakhouse features predominantly terrible and one-star reviews, with most complaining about horrible quality, bad service, and so incredibly expensive for such a bad quality of food. This guy was upset after the restaurant charged him 44 British pounds for 4 Red Bulls. However,
Jesus.
at least he didn't call the police
$12
after
Red
finding
Bull?
out the price, which is what happened over in Florida. Whilst eating at Salt Bae Steakhouse in Miami, Dwayne Miranda ordered 2 standard $275 tomahawk steaks, yet he was instead unknowingly presented with 2 golden tomahawk steaks, being
Oh,
charged
no.
more than $5,000 for his
no.
meal when he eventually got to the counter.
Oh,
We ordered 2
no.
tomahawk steaks and a rack of lamb for the table. When the bill came, we were shocked by the total. They insisted that we ordered the golden option and charged us $1,000 for each. We absolutely did not order that option. Although we did eat what was brought to the table thinking this was the normal presentation for our order, it was clear that the waiter was trying to take advantage of the situation. After disputing the
Involve law
misunderstanding with
enforcement?
management, they decided to involve local law enforcement rather than do the right thing. We paid the disputed $5,000 bill to avoid further conflict, yet this was still minor in comparison to what happened
Holy
at Salt
shit,
Bae
dude.
Steakhouse in Boston. After opening up on the 18th of September 2020, the restaurant, quote, almost immediately began racking up health code
Oof.
violations. City inspectors reported that COVID-19 safety guidelines were being flouted, crowds were not social distancing, 2 fire exits were blocked, permits were not in order, the dishwasher was not running hot enough, and the refrigerators were apparently too cold, leading the government to shut the restaurant down.
Oh my
only 1
God.
week after opening.
1
In the
week?
meantime, Salt Bae posted this seemingly wholesome family photo to his Instagram, yet this would also end in another wave of criticism. Turkey chef Salt Bae meets mother after 2 years,
he's Turkish?
criticized for not looking after her. It seems Salt Bae was getting loads of backlash in every situation, regardless of whether or not he deserved it. For example, when a waiter at one of his restaurants accidentally dropped a steak, Salt Bae was getting roasted in the comments by people saying that he was going to charge them twice. People
That's
simply didn't
funny.
like him, so when he'd actually do something deplorable
Oh,
in the
this was big, dude. This was big. Oh, it was so cringe. Ugh.
December 2022, the whole world took it as a chance to completely and utterly destroy him. After Argentina beat France in the World Cup final, Salt Bae waltzed onto the field as if he was everybody's best friend. He pestered Messi for a photo, snatched the World Cup from a baby, and bit down on one of the winner's medals, prompting negative comment after negative comment, as well as an instant response from the
Yeah,
media
his like interaction with
medals,
Messi
probably
was
for
so weird. Like Messi would like gave him a little handshake, but he was like grabbing onto him. Like he would like he really like, was trying to to get that photo.
Snatched the World Cup from a baby, and bit down on one of the winner's medals, prompting negative comment after negative comment, as well as an instant response from the media who wrote, Salt Bae was pathetically thirsty to get World Cup selfies and pissed off Argentina in the process. Only a day later, the FIFA president unfollowed Salt Bae on Instagram before launching an investigation into how Salt Bae was allowed on the field, revealing that only the World Cup winners and heads of state are allowed to touch the trophy during the closing ceremony, let alone kiss and disrespect it. The next day, Salt Bae tried to show that he and Messi were friends by posting a video of them together in his steakhouse. However, comments such as old video where Messi made a mistake visiting the restaurant showed that fans definitely weren't buying.
Like one interaction they had, maybe. Like he came to his restaurant once years later. Years ago.
Excluding this video, Salt Bae provided no response to his World Cup behavior until just 1 month ago, when he'd finally talk about the event in a tell-all interview. He stated, "It was a combination of my love of Argentina and my excitement. I love Argentina. I've lived there. I went to support them. Many of the team have come to the restaurant. I didn't feel a stranger. It was a special moment. I can't do anything about the reason I was there, but I would never ever step on the World Cup pitch again. There were 2 billion people watching the World Cup. How many people are speaking about me? 5 billion, the whole world. I didn't go on the pitch with the purpose
Isn't the whole
of
world like 7
advertising.
million?
I just felt like it. Then there was a bit of a surprise. There were at least another 1,000 people on the pitch, but when they show the video, they make out it was just me. I never ever wanted to overshadow anything. I didn't like the attention.
Sure you
with
didn't.
The possible motive for the explanation being that things haven't been going so well for Salt Bae ever since that day. Just 2 weeks prior to giving that interview, Salt Bae had to close down his self-titled Salt Bae Burger restaurant in New York City, which had gained a reputation for selling $99 gold-flaked milkshakes and a $100 burger wrapped in gold foil. On top of this, it's been reported that Salt Bae Steakhouse in Greece is now receiving a third of the bookings it used to, from 600 per day to approximately 200 per day, while his London steakhouse, which we discussed earlier as having some of the worst reviews in the city, recently announced that they'd be reducing their prices in, quote, what appears to be a desperate bid to entice customers back through its doors. Over the last 6 months, Salt Bae has gained approximately 300,000 followers per month, and while this is still a bafflingly high number for someone who seemingly does very little, this is the lowest growth he's had on social media since first blowing up in January 2017.
Oh, fucking rip bozo, I guess, dude. Rip fucking bozo, dude. I mean, yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit from what I've seen, so I guess he deserves all this, downfall that he's getting. Fuck him.